Alberta, Canada. It is June 20th, and it's time for our Technique Club cards class. Technique Club, what is that about? So this is a class that I currently collaborate with Christine Bertram, the amazing Christine Bertram from the United States. And we do this class together. I teach it on YouTube, and you can, if you are in Canada, you can get the kits from me. If you are in the United States, you can get the kits from my friend Christine. If you're joining me live, I'd love to know if you're with me. Please leave me a comment and let me know you're here. I am super excited to share this video with you. I'm just going to grab my laptop here, make sure that I'm live in the right spot. Oh, hi, Gail. Thank you for being here. So I go live here on YouTube, and this is, if you're watching the replay, thank you for watching. This video is free to watch. However, if you want to get all of the goodies, which means the packet in the mail, the PDF tutorial emailed to you, all of the Hostess Club perks, right? And there are a lot of perks. We love our club members. And it is a 10-month club, and you join on your own, and you go 10 months from the time you join. So it is super exciting. I love this club. I've been running this one for years and years and years, and people often ask me, oh gosh, Rose, are there really that many techniques? And my answer is always yes, there are so many techniques to learn. And I am still always learning new things. Even after almost 22 years, my anniversary is coming up in October, and I still am learning. So I love to share what I learn. And today we're going to feature the Bistro Burger bundle. This bundle is amazing. I am so excited about this one. Hello, hello. Your first time here? Well, great. Thank you for joining us from Perth, Australia. So good to have you with us. I'm just pulling up my YouTube channel here and going to see if I'm actually live. And it shows that I am. Yay. I'm going to turn the volume down. And then I can see your comments here. Great. Okay, awesome. And I will try and keep my eye on the comments. It's hard sometimes when you're demonstrating and trying to keep an eye on things that are happening on the comments. So please leave your questions. And if I don't get back to you immediately, I will get back to you at the end of the video. So thank you, Christine, for coming, your first time being here. Christine is watching from Winnipeg. Hi, Crystal. Hello, hello. Let me just scroll down here. Okay, I may have to put my glasses on because the print is super small. Okay, so we're playing with Bistro Burger. It is a new bundle. So cool seeing me twice today. Yeah, I was just live over on my Facebook page for my morning video, and this is my monthly video that I do here on YouTube for the technique class. So we're going to play with a whole bunch of watercoloring stuff today. So that is the topic today, all things watercoloring. So I'm so excited to play with these cards and to share them. Hi, Marie. Hello, Krista. Thank you so much. Krista's first time being here as well. Awesome. Okay, let me put my computer off to the side, and I'm going to flip my camera down at my work surface so you can see my hands, and we will get started on today's card. There's 3 cards actually I'm going to be demonstrating today, and I'm going to be talking about the club, talking about how things work. I do need to mention to you that I have 3 kits left if you're interested in joining this club, being a part of this class and getting these kits. They're amazing. Everything is pre-cut for you, ready to go. You do need to have your own stamps and your own ink as per Stampin' Up! Policy. We do not send stamped images in the mail. That's a rule we have to follow. It's a compliance rule. So you're going to want the stamp set, though. I really think you're going to like this one. So let's get started. Let's flip the camera and get started here. If I can find my button. Okay, there we go. Okay, there's a look at my backyard. We're just gonna take the camera. We're just gonna tilt down here. Okay, on my desk, this is the PDF, guys. This is a 9-page PDF that Christine and I give to all of our club members. You're gonna get all the details about these cards. Now, before I start, I want to mention that Christine and I have been collaborating on the PDF. And if you received it from Christine already, please don't print it yet. It's not, we need to do a couple of tweaks to it. There's a couple of little changes that have to be made. So thank you for your patience with us. And we'll get that PDF out to you today, later today. But that is kind of what this is the gist of it. So club members get that PDF. They get a link to this video, of course, and it's all the things for our club members. Okay, let's talk about the people, all the wonderful people that are in this class. I'm going to do a roll call now. Christine has, I just have to pull up the list. Christina sent me the girls. I think it's all girls. It's usually all girls that are in her class. So I'm going to just read out the names. And in my class, I also have the names of the people that are in there. 1 second, guys. I'm just going to pull up the list from Christine. I didn't have a chance to look at it earlier, but I know she sent it to me because we chatted earlier this morning. All right. So Christine has sent me. Okay, here are the people, the lovely ladies in Christine's class: Carla Lake, Mary Lemke, Faylene Mays, Shirlene Malarkey, Barbara Rudolph, Melanie Howe, Leslie McMinn, Karen Woods, Linda Scott, Lynn Beasley, Vicki Rodriguez, Nicole Herrick, Sandy Coy Emery, Sheila Roberts, Becky Rower, Carmen Sanders, and Christine notes that she has 3 more kits available. Okay, so hi Christine, hi Leanne, thank you all for being here. And Annika's here from the Netherlands. Thank you, Annika, for being here. Hi, Margaret. So those are the lovely people that are in Christine's class. If you want the last 3 kits that Christine has, reach out to her as soon as you can. First come, first serve, I think, right, Christine? Okay, so we can't wait to welcome you. Okay, so now I'm going to do the roll call for the people that are in my club. I'm just going to grab my book here. And let's see. We have Paula Anderson, Kathy Clark, Jen, Alexina Walsh, France Plomadon, Gail Stefan. I know Gail is here with us. Diane Gosselin, Bernice Panchishin, Penny Martin, Joy Gaudette, Patricia Benento, Dawn McMillan, Penny Lane, Amanda Woods, Kim Barraclough, Debbie Smith, Candace Oliver, Colleen Winter, Kim Campbell, Linda Budgel, Aline Ringette, Cheryl McMillan, Lynn Drelich, and we also have Marie Lefebvre. Marie Lefebvre. I hope I said that right, Marie. Welcome to our club. We love you guys. We are so excited to have you with us and to share techniques every month. Techniques are where it's at in my mind. It is something that is near and dear to my heart. I definitely, I'm always playing around with my supplies and trying to figure out, something new to do with our supplies. So the one that we're focusing on is Bistro Burger. If you have teenagers, well, you know what? Did I miss you, Krista? I'm so sorry, Krista. Krista Smith. Yes, Krista Smith. I apologize, Krista. You weren't on my, I think I skipped over a line on my book. I apologize. Krista is here with us. Thank you so much. Okay. If you have people in your life, I was going to say guys, well, there's like, Here's to a Great Guy is in this set, right? But this can be used for anybody. I love burgers. I'm a hamburger fanatic. I love all kinds of burgers. But this one, I think for the month of June, I know Father's Day here in Canada is over now, but you know what? Father's Day will roll around again, and I'm going to love having this one in my collection. This is a keeper. Time to celebrate. You're kind of a big deal. Oh my gosh. I love that, right? Kind of a big deal. I can picture myself sending that to team members. You can stamp it in pink, any color, right? But, and French fries and burgers. Oh my gosh. And look at the dill pickle. I mean, how cool is that? Like I don't think we've ever had a dill pickle stamp before, right? The Happy Father's Day font is amazing. Time to celebrate. You can use that with your other collections as well. This is a very versatile stamp set, and I don't think we've ever had a burger or fries or pickle stamp set. So I jumped on this one. I thought this one applies to a lot of people in my life, and I'm sure it does in yours as well. So let's open it up and take a look. There's a set of 15 amazing dies here. Oops, there's some fries I've already stamped. We got 15 dies. These dies are outstanding. We've got dies for the stamped images, right? We have a die for the burger. We have a die for the French fries. We have a die to cut out that pickle. I'm just laying them on top of their associated stamps here. And then the rest, guys, can be used for anything, right? This die down here was quite intriguing to me. I'll explain that in a second. We've got banner dies up here, little triangle stitched triangles. We got a banner here. We've got cheese. We've got the little knife, and then the handle for the knife, the little steak knife. And then we've got fire here. We're going to play with that today. This here, this little skinny die is super cool. This can be used to, you know, put your things on as well. At, like, for example, this down here, these two little circles, they make an olive. Oh, so cute. I had someone from Italy not too long ago ask me if I had an olive die, and now we do, right? Okay, there it is there. I put it together. So basically, I'm going to hold this close to the camera and show you. This little die here, if you cut it once with two pieces, like you can cut it in red and then cut it in old olive, then you layer it together and look at the cute little olive you can make. And this little stick here, you can actually like stick the olives. There's actually a little opening. I don't know if I can even hold it close enough to the camera to show you, but if I flip this die over, you can see maybe from the back, there's a little slit in the red part where you could string that skewer through the olives. Like, how cool is that, right? Like, that is pretty special in my mind. Okay, so that's a little bit about the dies. We've got the hot pepper here. We've got the little banner. I'm really smitten with these dies. Okay, so let's put these back. Now that I've given you a little intro to what we've got here, we're going to get started. So the first card in your PDF, I was just seeing Krista. Yeah, it's Krista. Krista Smith. Yes, Krista. Krista has her kit, and I just missed her name on my list, Christine, but thank you for welcoming her. She's definitely welcome here, as is everyone who's watching, right? Okay, so the first card in our tutorial is the one with your garden green package here. So we're going to pull this out and see what you've got in here. Now, don't forget to check the corners of your envelopes. Make sure. Why am I urging a martini right now? Marie says. It's because of those olives. Absolutely. And you know, in the past, we've had martini glasses and martini stamps and stuff, like things like that, right? And if you've held on to those things in your collection, you can totally use these dies with it. My son, he's now 28 years old, but he has loved burgers his whole life. And I remember when he was just little, he always had this amazing appetite, and we'd go to this restaurant and he would order this, they called it the extreme burger. And every time, like I'm talking like 7, 8 years old, he'd order an extreme burger, and the waiter or waitress would say, "That's a really big burger." And they'd look at, like, glance at us, and we were like, we'd look at them and kind of laugh. We're like, yeah, he can handle it. And he would polish that burger off like there was no tomorrow. Like, unbelievable, right? So I definitely have pictures of him chowing down into that burger, and it's going to go on his scrapbook, in his scrapbook page for sure. Okay, let's talk about this card. We've got a piece of designer series paper here. Now, this paper comes from the annual catalog, a new collection that we have. It's called To Market. I featured this one on Facebook Live a couple weeks ago. It has a whole bunch of images. There's lettuce and different fruits and vegetables, tomatoes as such. And then there's this piece has the bouquets on the back, but I really loved the garden green plaid from this side, so we're going to use that today. So your card base is very simple. It just opens like this, and you've got this flap on the side. So we'll just burnish that, and we'll get that piece of DSP on the side over here. So we're just going to glue this down. Leanne says, I'm new to this. I didn't know about the dies, but willing to learn. Well, there you go. See, I love when I can show someone something that they've never seen before. So hopefully you can learn a lot from this video, Leanne, and you'll stay tuned And whether you live in Canada or the United States, maybe you'll join us on this monthly class, this monthly venture. Okay, so there's our card base. This piece here, it sits on the inside, but there is room for you to stamp a greeting down here in the corner. So from the stamp set, I'm going to bring in that it's time, no, I was going to say let's celebrate, but it's time to celebrate. And we're going to stamp that down here. And I want to do that first because it's going to help me to be able to position the Nested Essentials dies when we get to that point. So let's get that onto a block. And we're going to stamp with Memento. So I'm grabbing my Memento black ink, my favorite black ink. Love Memento. It is a nice black, and you know what? I really love it because I love to color with my blends. So this is the ink pad you need if you're going to be coloring with blends. So I'm going to stamp that down here, and I moved it away from the card base on purpose because I always say stamp first, glue later, because if I make a mistake, it's crooked, it's, you know, it's not right, it's not dark enough, I can always flip it over. I always tell my class attendees you get 2 chances with a piece of cardstock. So we're going to just go ahead and put our glue on the back of this piece, and we're going to put that on the inside of the card here. All right, so we're going to just put that like so. Okay, so this is from these dies that you get in your kit. Christine and I work really, really hard, and Christine's helpers, my helpers, we all work really hard to get you these pieces. These are the Nested Essentials dies. So you should have a crumb cake one and then a slightly smaller one for in basic white to layer on top. So on this white piece, we're going to work with this piece now. We're going to bring in the stamp that says, "You're kind of a big deal." Now, I love that, and you could use that just how it is, but we also have a dill pickle, and I thought, oh, we could do a little play on words with this dill pickle, right? You're kind of the big, how about we say big dill? So we've got a dill pickle, and you've got a die here. So I know we're dealing with cling mount stamps, but I want to share some tips with you on cling mount, how you can actually stamp on a die cut, okay? So if you've got die cuts in your kit, or if you have scrap paper, either one works, right? So you may have a scrap square for your dill pickle, so you can just stamp your dill pickle, put the die on top. Remember, you're going to need the bundle, right? You're going to need the bundle to finish these cards. But mine, I've already cut my dill pickle out. I want to show you how I'm going to do that. So first, okay, let's do that first. We're going to ink up the dill pickle with Memento. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick up my die cut. I'm going to gently, very gently, lay it on top of my red rubber. And I'm going to grab a separate clean block and use that to apply even pressure over top of this sandwich that I've made here. And then you can see I've got my stamped image. Okay, so that's a little trick for you. If you are a fan of die cutting first and then stamping, this is how you can get it to work for you. I mean, the best scenario is to have the dies and to stamp and then die cut, but this works. This works. So we're going to leave the dill pickle right there. For the you're kind of a big deal. I don't want to say deal. I want to say dill. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to mask off the word dill. Okay. Thanks, Marie. Thanks, Krista. Okay, so we're going to bring in some Scotch tape. I think everybody should have, you know, a little bit of Scotch tape in their arsenal, in their craft room. We're going to take this Scotch tape and we're going to cover up the word that we don't want. We don't want deal right now, not on this card. So we're just covering that up with Scotch tape. Okay, I'll hold it close so you can see what I've done. I've been very careful not to overlap with the of and the a. We're just inking up the rest of it except for the deal. And then we're going to bring in the Memento ink and we're going to stamp. Okay, now this is the important part. So get lots of ink on there. You want it to be juicy. But then before we stamp on our Nested Essentials die, we have to remember to pull off that Scotch tape and discard it. Throw it right in the garbage before you put your finger on it. Ask me how I know. And then we're going to stamp in the middle of our Nested Essential die cut here. All right, so there's our stamped image. When I lift up, it says you're kind of a big what? So now we want to do dill. So looking at this stamp, I was like, oh my goodness, I can totally spell dill. There's a D, there's an I, and there's an L. So we're going to do that. We're going to use this scrap paper that I have here, and we're going to use the Memento. We're going to ink that up again, but I'm just going to go on the edge up here so I can get one D, one I, and an L. I need an extra L, right? So we're just going to ink that up again, and I'm just going to go on the edge and get my second L. There we go. All right, so using my my glass mat studio, which is my, it's like my best friend now. We're gonna grab the chamois cloth that came with it. I'm gonna wipe up my glass mat because I don't want that extra ink going in places I don't want it. So now we're just gonna bring in our snips, and actually no, we'll snip it first. I just had an idea to color and then snip. You could do that. What we're going to do is we're going to color the letters D-I-L-L with some Old Olive blends. Okay, so we're just going to grab Old Olive and we're just going to color it. But we can do that later if you want. It's totally up to you. It's you know, it's a personal preference. So let's just snip out those letters and we'll get going here. I have so many pairs of scissors and they're all like wrapped up in one another. Let's grab my newest pair here. Okay, so now we're just going to grab our snips and we need to isolate this I, right? Because we're going to spell the word dill. And I'm bringing in my silicone mat because, you know, we need the silicone mat to hold on to these little pieces. My charcuterie board, I call it my charcuterie board. The white silicone mat that comes with your glass mat is also a helpful tool for holding on to your pieces. So I need an I need a D, and I need two L's. So let's go ahead and snip those out. I don't need the B. Discard. All right, so here we go. We're just going to snip and snip. And you know what? They don't have to you don't have to worry about them being straight or anything because we're spelling this and it's just going to be a fun little thing to put on your card. So you don't need to stress about having like the perfect square or anything like that. Just isolate those letters. Okay. So I'm just going to put them D-I-L, and I need one more L, which is right here. Okay. So there's our dill. You're kind of a big dill. Big dill. Big dill. You gotta put the right accent on it, right? Okay, so we've got our letters. Snip that one more time. Okay, so now let's bring in some green. You can do Old Olive, you could do Granny Apple Green, you could do any of the greens, right? You can mix them up. Let's go ahead, and I see a little bit of black on this one. Thanks, Krista. You know, when you look at your stamps and these letters, you could probably spell a whole bunch of different words, right? When you look at it and you isolate those letters like we're doing here right now. Okay, so there we've got our letters and we've got our pickle. Now we have to do a little bit of coloring on those pieces. So we'll grab our Old Olive, and we're going to just, actually, you know what? No. I'm not going to use my blends for this one because we're going to watercolor this pickle. This is a watercoloring class. I designed this class so long ago, I've forgotten how I colored my dill. Okay, let's go back to the drawing board here. We haven't done anything yet. We've got our pieces and we're going to bring in some watercolor pencils. Oh my goodness, I love the watercolor pencils. And of course we have an Old Olive one. There's a bunch of ways to do watercoloring, and the ones, the tools I want to focus on is the water painters, okay? So when you buy a package of water painters, you get 3 painters in a package, okay? So you get the wide brush one. I'm going to take the lids off of them. They come in this nice little storing case, and you get 3 of them. So there you get the wide one, which looks like this. And if you're used to righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, you're going to have to just kind of reverse that in your brain because these, you turn to the right to loosen and open them. And inside, there's a little chamber that you can put your water, okay? So then when you fill it with water from your kitchen tap or a water bottle, whichever way you want, and then you do lefty to tight. So it's against what our brains have been trained. And then, so you've got that one. I'm just going to take all my lids off because I'm going to be using all of these today. My goal for this class was to show you these water painters and the different ways you can use them. So we're going to use the wide one later, but for the little dill pickle, we're going to use the smallest tip. I'm holding them close so you can see the difference here. So we've got, here, I'll just let the camera focus so you can see. We've got a wide tip, and the bristles are separate because I haven't got any water on them yet. And then we've got a little tiny one and a medium. So a small, medium, and a large water painter. You get all three in the package. So I'm going to use my little guy, and you can see there's water in there. I'm just going to see where it says push on the side. We're going to push that, and that's going to advance the water down through the little barrel and come down into the bristles. And look, you can see I can practice on my silicone mat or my finger, and you can get that water flowing. So you want to practice on how much water you've got coming out through your pen, okay? So we're going to there's a couple of ways to use the pencils. So there's one way you can actually add a little bit of color to your image. So I'm just adding a little bit of the Old Olive here. And maybe I can zoom a little bit. Okay, so I'm using my pencil, and I'm adding a little bit of Old Olive to the letters. So I'll show you this on the letters. Just come in here, just like coloring with the coloring pencil. And it looks kind of like dull, and you're like, well, how is that watercoloring? It kind of looks like pencils, right? Well, once we take our water painter and we touch that the color from our pencil, you can do a lot with it. You can move it around, you can paint with it, you can make it watercolor look. So that's what I'm going to do with all these letters. I'm coming in with my fine tip pencil, fine tip painter, and I'm going to just advance that color all the way around these letters. Okay, so I'm just going to let that dry for a minute. And then, so this was me touching the letters with the pencil. There's another way you can use your pencils. Mine needs to be sharpened, but we're still going to use it here. So I've got my Old Olive pencil, and I've got my water painter. I hope I'm in the screen. I can see on my computer. I think you can see. I'm going to take the tip of my pen, and I'm going to just go over the tip of the pencil, and you can see I'm getting green on the bristles. And then I'm just going to color my pickle. And you can come back and get your ink as many times as you want from the tip of your pencil, and then you can paint your dill pickle. Look at that. Isn't that fun? So a couple of different ways to use the pencils. You can apply it to your project and then blend it. Do we have to use watercolor paper? Good question, Marie. I wanted to bring that up with this card in particular. You don't have to. It is recommended because once the water, like this is basic white, but I have a small image here. This is a small dill pickle. This is a small image. So I'm limited to how much water I'm really going to apply to this. But if you have a beautiful, like a big image, for example, like the flowers, I just did a video featuring the layers of beauty. Like if I were to stamp something this big in the camera, look, it hardly even fits inside the camera. If I were to stamp this and try to color it, I definitely want to be on watercolor paper, because by the time I get it colored with water on white paper, it's going to be, the fibers will all come loose, right? So something small like this you can do on white paper, but it is recommended to use watercolor paper. So while I'm chatting here, my dill is drying out, which is what I want, and my dill pickle is good. If you want to add a little extra dark to the edges just to highlight your pickle, you could do that with the pencil. You see how I'm adding that shading, and then you can come back in with your water painter and you can just blend that out. So super fun. I love the painters. In fact, my daughter is going to Alberta University of the Arts, and I had to get her own set of these because they kept going missing from my desk. True story. She loves these painters. Okay, so there's my feature images here. We're going to bring back our card pieces, and we're going to add this white piece to our crumb cake. Let me back up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to add this to here. So we're just going to flip it over. We're going to bring in a little bit of liquid glue. when you're putting liquid glue on the basic white, you definitely want to use very little. Like you can see how, like, I'm going to hold this close, like dotted lines, just tiny dotted lines, because if you put too much liquid glue on your white cardstock, when it dries, it will ripple through the front and you won't like that look. So very minimal. You don't need very much liquid glue. Okay, so there we've got that. We're going to attach that to the front with 2 dimensionals on the left-hand side. Okay, so let me grab some dimensionals. And we're going to put them here and here. Just give it a little pop of space, a little bit of dimension. So that's going to go right there. Love these nested essential dies because they are nested. You can get lots of layers with them. And Leanne says, this is cool. Didn't know about a lot of this. You can use it. Yeah, absolutely. You can use all of the stuff I'm showing you in scrapbooking. I totally am a scrapbooker. I love the thought of using these pickles and burgers. And, you know, we're coming into summer, barbecue season. There definitely will be some burgers in your pictures, right? Okay, so let's go ahead, and I could flip all these little pieces over and put the glue on, but I'm actually going to go this way. I'm going to put a little dab of glue, D-I-L-L, like that. And then I'm going to use my take your pick tool, and I'm going to use the putty end, and we're going to pick up each of those letters, and we're going to spell the word dill, D-I-L-L. So pick them up. Anybody else love their take your pick tool? It's like my favorite thing. My take your pick tool and my silicone mat go hand in hand. Now I'm going to need a little bit of more glue for the other L. And hi, Lynn. Thank you for joining us from Layton, Utah. Thanks for being here. All right, so there we go. You're kind of a big dill. And then we got to put the pickle, right? So the pickle is going to go right there. This is for your people who love pickles, I guess, and love a good laugh, have a sense of humor. I'm going to send this one to my dad because he is definitely a big dill. Okay, so we've got our pickle on there, and then in your kit, you're going to have a piece of this, it's not called ribbon, it's called trim. It's very stiff. It's not exactly the best to make bows with, but you can do knots, right? So we're going to take it and we're just going to wrap it around your finger and tie a knot, and you can tighten it. And then turn it until you get the knot to look the way you want it. And it's going to sit right here on the edge of your card, just for a little pop of texture. And Gail says she loves pickles. Yes, I do too. I remember my son when he was just little. I'd pick him up from school. I'm talking like kindergarten, grade 1, whatever. And on the way home, I'd say, what do you want for a snack when we get home? He always said, pickles and cheese, pickles and cheese. He always chose pickles and cheese and crackers as a snack. So I should give this card to him as well. So for this trim, you're also going to need probably a couple of these glue dots because it is a stiff trim, so you want to make sure it's not going to fall off your card. So use a good adhesive here. That could be a pregnant woman card. Oh my gosh, that's so funny, Marie. Yes. And pregnant women are kind of a big deal, right? They're a big deal. Absolutely. So this would put a smile on anyone's face. I'm just using an extra glue dot. You can use as many glue dots as you want to get this card to sit the way you want it. And let's bring in my scissors and we'll snip that trim so it's the same on both ends. Yeah, I love the watercolor pencils. We've had these for a long time and I often forget about them, but you know what? This has been a great memory, great reminder of these awesome tools I have in my collection. So pull out your watercoloring. It is so fun. Okay, so there's our card. Don't forget you have some bling in your kit. We've got these little pearls here. We're going to put those on, and we're going to put, let's see, use my take your pick tool. I'm going to put one down here on the card base. I'm going to put, if I can get it picked up here. Probably could pick it up with my fingers. There we go. All right, this one's going over here. And we're going to put the last one, where should we put that one? Up in the top the top portion up here. Okay, so there we have it, my friends. This one uses the finest tip of the water painters and the pencils, and a little bit of fun with the lettering here, and lots of room to attach your greeting inside. You can also fit, oh, I'm actually adding a little bit of water. You can also fit a gift card on this flap here if you wanted to. You could put a gift card, and this would be a fun card for a graduate as well, right? You know, it's if you need to send a grad card still, this would be a great one. You're kind of a big deal. You graduated, and maybe send them a gift card to their favorite restaurant or something, right? Hi, Kenzie. No worries, no worries. The replay will always be here. If you want to go back and watch it, it will be here. Good to have you with us. All right, so there's our first card. Let's move on to our second card, which is going to be, let's see. Let's play with this one. The one in your package that comes with in Smoky Slate. So here's your package here. Smoky Slate is our card base. And let me show you what the card looks like before we get started. Now, this card is, I've used the Happy Father's Day stamp on this one because I wanted to use all of the stamps in a set, but you don't have to use Happy Father's Day. I know in North America, Father's Day has passed, but Father's Day will come again. And this actually can be substituted. So you've got an oval piece here from the Modern Oval Punch in your kit that you can stamp with whatever you want. So if you have a happy birthday stamp at home or something else that you want to say, go ahead and use what you have in your collection, right? And then, so we're using a lot of pieces from this Bistro Burger bundle. And we're going to do some watercoloring on here. I love the tray down here. This is all cut for you. The tray is cut, the flames. We're going to do some watercoloring on the flames down here. And here's the inside. You're kind of a big deal, so we're using that stamp as it is on the inside. So let's get started. Let's take a look at what's in your card kit. So when you open it up here, we've got the fluid. I want to talk for a second about watercolor paper. So someone asked a question, and that was a very good question. Do we need to use watercolor paper? Yes, it is highly recommended, and Stampin' Up! Sells a package of watercolor paper. It's called Fluid 100. And it's a package that looks like this. And in that package, you're going to get 10 sheets of 5x7. And this paper is amazing. My daughter has used it for watercoloring and painting, and she says it's a very, very good paper. So grab yourself a package of that. It does go quite a ways when you're just doing small die cuts like the flame here. So let's do the flame first and get that drying, because it does have a little bit of dry time. But in your kit, you're going to have my kit there here. I went ahead and cut my pieces, but you may have a piece of Daffodil Delight and a piece of crumb cake. So feel free to look through the stamps that you have at home and pull out something. You don't have to make a burger card. I would love to know what you're going to substitute your images for. If you don't have the burger card, the burger stamps, then you could make something totally different using your crumb cake and your Daffodil Delight. You could do flowers. You could do flowers. You could actually put, maybe you might not want to put flames underneath your flowers because that's kind of scary, right? Your flowers are on fire. But you could leave out this piece, or you could color it green. You could make this green and add some greenery to this tray. This could be a tray of beautiful florals, right? And maybe you might want to hold on to the hot pepper for another card. I think maybe you have the hot pepper cut for you, so you could use that on a different card. But I'm just trying to give you some ideas of how you can pivot this class if you don't yet have the Bistro Burger bundle. Hopefully by the end of the class, I might have convinced you to grab this one. Color the fire with green for grass. Yeah, it could be grass. You could put grass and then still use this tray. So I'm going to show you how, if you did get die cuts, or if you like to die cut ahead of time like me, I'm going to show you how you can actually stamp your burger and your fries on die cuts, okay? Even though we're using red rubber. So we've got a hot pepper here. Check out this tray. At first I was like, what is that die cut? I didn't know what this was at first, because looking at it, I'm like, is it a piece of board? Is it supposed to be the table? What is this supposed to be? And how does this apply to burgers? I was just like, I don't know. I just needed to stamp it, or not stamp it, but I needed to die cut it to really understand what it was, right? So when I die cut it, I was like, oh, now I see there's a little slit right here. and there's one over here. It is your tray that you get at a fast food restaurant for your burger and fries. And look at that. The burger fits down in there, and your fries are also going to fit down into the slot. I mean, isn't that cool? That is so cool. I love this one. And then I just chose to put the flame in front, but I mean, you're not going to be burning your tray, but I just wanted to add the flame to say, you know what, maybe these were flame broiled burgers. Okay, so you've got your modern oval punch that comes in your kit. You're going to have a piece of this designer series paper. Do you recognize this? This is from the Take to the Sky suite. This is the paper. Now, stay tuned today if you're up for another class, which I'm sure you are. 5 o'clock Central Time, Christine will be teaching the Take to the Sky class, and I'm super excited for that class. If you live in Canada, you can get the kits from me. And if you live in the US, I'm sure Christine will let us know. Maybe Christine can chime in and let us know for that class and that's happening today, how many kits she has left. This is the paper. So I want to show you, this is another idea of what you can do. This is not just planes in the air and sky, right? We can use this plaid paper on this card. Okay, and then you're going to have 2 pieces of basic white, one for the inside and one for the front. Okay, let's get started. So what we're going to do first, let's do our tag first, right? So I'm going to do Happy Father's Day, but you can go ahead and substitute, you know, you could say, here's to a great guy. And then on the inside, you could do time to celebrate. It could be a birthday card, right? I have my dad's birthday's coming up. He loves burgers. I could totally do this. So if you are thinking, oh, Father's Day is gone and past, this is still a great set. All right. So we're going to get that on a block and we're going to stamp that with real red. All right. So we got real red here. Kenzie says, oh, awesome. I just got this set. Awesome. I think you're going to love this one. I have never in 22 years seen them do a burger and a die, right? Die to go with it. And fries, burger and fries. Okay, so let's stamp Happy Father's Day on here. I'm just going to do it the same as my sample just to show you how I did this. So there's my Happy Father's Day. And then you can grab a sponge or a finger dauber, sponge dauber, and add the red. I like to do that. So let me grab my finger dauber here. And we're going to add the red to, I'll show you how I add the red to the edge of this. So I just tap into my ink pad. Oh, the Take to the Skies. Yes. Yes, that is a great bundle. Totally love that bundle. I've never seen planes like that either, and all the dies. So I can't wait for Christine's class tonight. So excited. Okay, so there's my Happy Father's Day with the red, real red on the edges. So we're done with the real red ink pad for now. I'll just move it off to the side. And then we're going to do the burger and the fry stamping. Actually, I said I was going to do the flame. Let's do the flame. I want to do it all. I'm so excited. Okay, so for the flame, we're going to bring in our medium painter. Okay, so the medium painter looks like this. It's a little bit of a bigger fibers, right? So we're going to I have my water already in the painter. I'm just going to squeeze it to advance the water to come down through the bristles. And what we're going to do now is we're going to add some color to the watercolor paper. And we're going to blend it. Okay, so you can see the flame has yellow at the bottom and it has pumpkin pie. So we're going to bring in pumpkin pie and Daffodil Delight. And you can do this with ink or you can do it with pencils. Okay, so I've already shown you the pencils. How about I show you how to do this with ink? So in your PDF, it will be oodles and oodles of Take to the Kite. Okay, Diane, thank you. Diane says she's with Christine. She has oodles. McOodles of the Take to the Sky class tonight. Yes, 5 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, Kenzie. So you're in Alberta like I am. It's going to be 5 o'clock for us. It is 6 o'clock Central Time. They are an hour ahead of us. Okay, so you could do this with pencils, but I want to show you how about I do half with pencil and half with ink. I think that's a good idea, and I can show you the difference. Okay, so I'm going to take 2 clear blocks. I'm going to bring in Daffodil Delight and Pumpkin Pie. All right, so I'm bringing in my ink pads here. Now, this is classic ink. You can use re-inkers if you want. I'm just going to use the ink pads, and I'm just going to open them up. and we're going to just get a little bit, we're going to make a little paint palette, if you will. So I'm going to take my block, dip into my Daffodil Delight. I'm going to take this block and dip into my pumpkin pie, and then we are going to use that ink. So this is my favorite way to get ink, because sometimes I feel like with the ink pads, it's really hard if you squeeze the lid. Like I'm squeezing the lid here, and let's see, did I get a puddle? No, I did not get a puddle. So sometimes it's a little bit hard to get that puddle on the thing, on the plastic. So I take blocks like I'm showing you here. Okay, so now let's grab that blend water painter, and we're going to do half of my flame. Let's move all this off to the side. Let's do this half down here. So get your the water flowing through the bristles, but not like flowing crazy. You just want to make a little. Let me zoom in a little bit here. So you're just using your water painter like a paintbrush, and you're getting that ink on it. Okay. So then we're just going to touch the top of the flames with the pumpkin pie. So I'm going to do these ones here like that. And then when you're done, you just have to work off the ink off of your bristles. So I have a baby wipe here. I'm just going to fold that and put it on my work surface, and I'm just going to clean my brush. You could have a little thing of water that you could dip in if you want to, but I'm just going to use my baby wipe, or a paper towel you could use as well. So now my bristles are clean. I'm going to do the same thing with the Daffodil Delight. I'm just coming in here and I'm mixing the water and getting it all nice and like, it's like paint, I guess, right? So we're just going to take that and we're going to blend down at the bottom of this flame. So go up into the pumpkin pie and then come along the bottom and kind of like blend that down until you get the look you want with your flames. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so you get a lot of forgiveness with the watercolor paper. So you can have not a lot of water flowing through your pen, and you don't have to worry about your fibers. I wouldn't recommend doing this with basic white cardstock, because by this point, how much I've done this, the paper would be falling apart. The fibers would be coming loose. So this side is how it looks if you're going to use the ink, right? So let's do this side with the pencils, and we'll show you the difference. So this side, I want to do Daffodil Delight on the bottom portion of my flame, like this. And then I'm going to use my pumpkin pie and add a little touch of pumpkin pie to the top part. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just adding that pumpkin pie at the top, kind of like we did with the ink, but we're doing it with the pencil. And you can always add more. So there's what it looks like before I add my painter. So we're going to bring in the painter. I'm going to start from the bottom, and I'm just going to go up like that. Can you see that? I'll hold it down. So I'm just touching the Daffodil Delight and then just proceeding, taking that water upwards into the top part of the flame like that. There we go. So it's a softer look, but you get the gist of like the yellow at the bottom and then the pumpkin pie at the top. And then you can always go back over it, because like I said, you get lots of forgiveness with this paper. And I would like mine to look a little bit darker. So I'm going to just see now. I'm going to add more. Now my paper is wet, right? This side with the pencils. I'm coming back with my pencils. I'm going to add a little bit more color. So you can totally work with this until you get the effect that you want. So I'm adding a little bit more pumpkin pie, and then you add a little bit more of the Daffodil Delight at the bottom. I probably need to sharpen my pencils. I've used them a lot. Okay, so there we got a little bit more. And then Kenzie says you can see it well. I hope you can see this. I've zoomed in here, so hopefully you can see. And you can see my sample here off to the right, to the left. I'll pull that in. You can see that's how I colored my flames. So super fun, super easy. I mean, it's watercolor paper and you can't go wrong with it. Now I've been adding lots and lots of the water on this side over here. And there we have it. We have flames. Okay, so let's go ahead and clean that off of my water painter, and we'll get on to the rest of the card. You can use your chamois cloth or your baby wipe, and you can clean up your mess as you go. All right, so let's clean up those blocks, and we'll get on to the rest of this card. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna stamp our burger and our fries. So we've got a burger and fries here. Now you will have a piece of crumb cake cardstock that you can stamp on, and then you can die cut it. Sorry for the zoomy camera there, but I just wanted to show you what I was doing. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, for those of you that do have a die cut already, I'm gonna show you how to stamp on there with the fries and the burger image. So let me grab some blocks here. We got a block for our burger, one for the French fries. Okay, so French fries and burger. Okay. So to do this, it's red rubber. It's not impossible to do. You can put your ink on. So I'm going to use Memento ink, and we're going to do the fries first. Let's do the French fries. So tap, tap, tap on the French fry stamp. We're going to take the die cut, just like I did before, and we're going to lay it on top. And actually, let's take this burger, and we're just going to press that on to make sure it's even all the way around, and there we go. Voila, we have French fries. Okay, so let's do the same thing with the burger. We're gonna ink up the burger with Memento, and we're gonna lay the die. Make sure it's like kissing, right? You wanna make sure you put the die down like that. I didn't mention the top of the burger has this cut mark in it. This is how it cuts out. Now that is for you can stick the olives down in there, and there's the little knife. You could do the steak knife, all kinds of different things you can stick in the burger. So let's lay this on top of the burger here, and we're just gonna do a little kiss here with the other block, and let's take a look. There we go. We've got our burger stamp. How easy is that, right? So if you're inclined to cut more than one, usually when I'm prepping for classes and scrapbook club and whatever, I like to cut 2 at a time. And these ones are just outline dies, so you can get away with that. If it's a detailed die, I never recommend stamping or cutting more than 1, because the details will not cut out very well, right? So, okay, let's do some watercoloring on our burger here. So for the burger, this one, we're going to use blends on this one. So for this card, I wanted to show you watercoloring on the watercolor paper to do the flames, right? So for the burger, we're going to use blends on the burger. So I have a little bit of pecan pie. We're going to add some accents to the burger here. We're going to just add right up here on the top of the burger. And this is crumb cake cardstock that I stamped on. So we're just going to use a little bit of crumb cake, and we're just going to come around and add some shading to our burger with pecan pie. And then we're going to bring in crumb cake, and we're going to go over what we just did and blend all of that in to make it look like a burger. I don't want to blend out the pecan pie, but if I do add too much, I can go back and add those pecan pie accents again later. It's all good. With blends, you can go over it many, many times. And the beauty of using blends is your fibers won't break down. Well, not as easily as it would with water. So, okay, so we've got the bun done. So let's do the rest of it here. We're going to take the dark pecan pie, and we're going to add that to the meat. Make it look like a well-done burger. Okay, so this is pecan pie. There we go. And then for our lettuce, we're going to use Granny Apple Green for the lettuce. So I'm using my felt tip, but you can use the fine tip if you want. And we're just going to come around here, and we're going to do the lettuce on the bottom, and there's more lettuce up here. And I think there's a little bit of mustard sticking out there, so I'm going to leave that. I'm going to color that in with my We're going to bring in that daffodil delight. I'm hungry now. I might need to go to A&W. Yeah, exactly. Go get yourself a nice teen burger or matzo burger. Oh, all the fun stuff. Okay, so for my pickles, I'm going to do Old Olive. So up here, we've got our pickles right under the bun. So grab that darker green. You could use Mossy Meadow here too if you wanted to. So there's my pickles. Pickles are done. And then for the tomatoes, I'm bringing in my Poppy Parade. So we're going to start with dark Poppy Parade. We're going to line those tomatoes, the edges of them with dark Poppy Parade, and then we'll do the inside of the tomatoes with the lighter version of the Poppy Parade blend. And again, you could totally do this with your watercolor painters, watercolor pencils as well. Okay, so we've got those images. We've got our Happy Father's Day. Let's bring in the other pieces for our card. Okay, so for the front, we are going to, first things first, we're going to put this DSP down here at the bottom. Their fries are the best. Yes, I like their sweet potato fries, actually. And their onion rings. Yum, yum. Okay, so we're going to put this plaid gray smoky slate piece down here at the bottom. And then we're going to do a little splatter on the background, right? So I'm going to bring in our, this is not a blend, this is our Stampin' Write marker. The regular Stampin' Write marker. You can get these in a color family. This is real red. So I want to show you a tip with this one. It has a marker side and it has a fine journaling side on this side. So I'm going to open up the marker side. I'm going to hold the marker in my left hand over my white piece of cardstock. And I'm just going to grab another marker and I'm going to tap. So here we go. We're going to just tap. Oh, I lied. I'm so sorry. This is not what I wanted to do. I need to make it. See, I needed to practice. Okay, so we're going to take the marker and we're going to just mark onto a block. I forgot to do this one step. Sorry, ladies. We're going to mark on here. We're going to get our puddle of ink. And then we're going to bring in our water painter and we're going to get that real red going on our painter here. So we've got a nice painter full of red ink. Now this is what we're going to tap. We're going to tap with this one. So watch this. I'm getting that slight fine splatter in the background. And I'll hold it close to the camera and show you the effect. But basically, the more ink you have on the tip of your water painter, the more splatter you get. Look at that. I'm holding it close so you can see the fine splatter that I got going on there. So there we go. We've got that on the front. Now we're going to take the tray, the beautiful takeout tray. We're going to put that on here. But first, let's put our burger in the tray and our fries on this side. I love this. Okay, so they're both in the tray and we're going to flip it over and we're going to just, I like to do things all at once, right? When I'm gluing, and now we're going to just flip it over and we're going to add the glue to the back of the burger, the bottom, the tray, the edge, the fries, and then we can just stick it down onto our card as one complete unit, right? So here we go. We've got our tray. Let's put this right down here. Look at that. We've got a burger and fries meal ready to go. Okay, so then if you want to add the flame, it's totally up to you. I really think the flame adds a nice touch to this. You're at a barbecue. Maybe you're looking over the barbecue and there is our flame for the front. So again, we're going to just flip this over and add our glue and put this right at the bottom here. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, so the Happy Father's Day is going to go up here in the white space on dimensionals. You guessed it. Okay, so we're going to grab 3 dimensionals for this one. Actually, I think I'm going to use 4 to make sure this is popped up nicely. A flame burger. Yes, well, we'd be going to Dairy Queen, wouldn't we, for that? Or is maybe A&W has flame burgers, flame broiled. I'm not sure. Where are all my burger fanatics? Okay, so here we go. We've got Happy Father's Day up here. Now that hot pepper, I couldn't resist using that. And we're going to put that right on the edge of the Happy Father's Day, just like that. So let's add a little glue to the the jalapeno pepper right there. Okay, so fun. And then Burger King. Yes, Burger King. You know, for my friends in the United States, there's so many fun burger places down there. Oh, love it. My family, they can probably rhyme them off. When I go, I'm along for the ride because they are the foodies and they choose. But we've eaten at some pretty fantastic places along the way, on the way to Utah, and we drove to Disneyland. So fun. Okay, there we go. We've got our front of our card done. And last but not least, we're going to add our bling to this one. So put these pearls, these smoky slate pearls are so great because you get a lot of them in the packaging, and they're really great for masculine cards. Okay, so now we're going to take the inside of our card, going in here, and we're going to stamp the happy, you're kind of a big deal. And we're just going to get that cleaned up because I had memento on it earlier. Okay, so we're going to stamp that with real red. Okay. Real red right on here, like that. You're kind of a big deal, just like the big burger on the front of my card. All right, so there we go. We've got that. Let's add our glue to the background here. And we're going to call this done. Look at that. So fun. And again, of course, you could attach a gift card to the inside. So there's a closer look. Thanks, Krista. I'm happy you like that one. This is probably my favorite. The tray and how the burger and fries sit down in the tray. So fun. I love it. Okay, let's move on to our third card. This one, we're going to use the third water painter because I promised I would show you all of them, right? So we did the fine tip one for the pickle, the medium tip one for the flame, and now this card, check it out. Let me pull it out of my plastic sleeve here. This card uses the wide tip, and we're also going to pull in the die cuts here for the little steak knife that's going down through the top of that burger. Like, so fun. And then this one has time to celebrate on the inside. So for this card, my color scheme I'm using is Night of Navy, Real Red, and then I brought in Very Vanilla because to me, the watercolor, the Fluid 100 paper matches Very Vanilla more than it does white. It was my opinion. So we're also bringing in a new color that Stampin' Up! Introduced with the new catalog, and that is our new Basic Beige. So this die cut here that you would have all received from the Nested Essentials, this stitched rectangle here, is Basic Beige, and our burger is also cut out of Basic Beige. So let's pull in the card kit for this one, and we'll get started. Okay, so in your card kit, you're going to have a piece of the Very Vanilla and Black checkered ribbon. You're going to have your die cut for your greeting. Look at the silver foil knife for the steak knife. So fun. I love this design too. It is so fun. And then you're going to have there's a separate die for the handle of the steak knife. This one's going to be a cool one. If you are a fan of Halloween, I can picture already some really fun Halloween cards using this knife, right? Like if you're into scary, this is a cool one. Okay, so we've got a Basic Beige burger here as well. So you're going to have scrap, so that if you have a scrap piece of Basic Beige, you're going to be able to stamp this one at home and then use your die to cut it out. Okay, we've got a piece of our watercolor 100 paper. Then we have this piece of Designer Series paper, which you guessed it, it is from the Take to the Sky Designer Series paper, right? The stuff with the planes. Thanks, Krista. I appreciate your kind words. Thank you so much. For the front of the card, we're going to use Real Red. And then we also have Very Vanilla for the inside. All right, so I'm going to start off with our piece of watercolor paper. We're going to move all of my pieces off to the side here, and we're going to do the watercoloring first because I want it to be able to dry before I stick it down. So the watercolor paper, Fluid 100, we've got this piece right here, and it is super thick and super textured, and it's going to be super forgiving in terms of water. So I'm going to take a clean block and I'm going to bring in my Real Red ink pad. And I'm going to get it all inked up. Now you could, if you don't have a Real Red ink pad, you could use your reinkers, and you can do this card with reinkers. Just put some drops on a block. I'm just tidying up my space here. Oh boy, I make a mess. I can't see the forest for the trees. So let's make sure that you guys aren't getting overwhelmed by my mess. All right, let's get organized here for a second. All right, so all I want here, I've got my inspiration on the side, I've got my pieces here, and I've got my Real Red ink, and I don't know why I'm holding my Scotch tape. I'm trying to clean up, I guess. Okay, so let's get back to our Real Red puddle on our block. Okay, that's all we need. You just need some Real Red on a clean block. And we're going to take our wide painter, I want to call this aqua painter, but they're actually called water painters. And I'm going to squeeze the barrel, and you want to get the water to come down through the bristles. Okay, so we're just going to get that going. And we're just going to just play around here on the block, picking up the ink, getting it so it's like a sign of a great day crafting. Exactly, Krista. So we're getting it to a consistency so it's like paint. So I'm going to hold this close so you can see my brush. It's really like a very watery kind of paint. And now we're going to paint these strokes along the watercolor paper. So you're just going to like flatten out your bristles and bring the stroke back like that. And you can make it you can go over it again and make it longer if you wanted to. And then we're just going to come right down through this piece of water paper and keep doing that. We're just making a pattern, that's all. And you could do this with any color that you want, right? Look at that, beautiful strokes that come from these water painters. Water painters and our regular classic ink. So fun. You can make your own designer series paper. So I think I'm going to be able to fit one more here and then probably one more at the bottom. And you feel free to go off the edge. It just gives a more continuous look. It makes it look like you actually cut this from a package of paper. So there's my background that I wanted to do. And you could do different colors with this. You could do a rainbow. You can alternate colors if you have a color scheme in mind that you want to use. These painters are amazing. And then again, when you're done, you can just use a paper towel or a baby wipe or something. And like, as I'm cleaning, I'm squeezing the barrel so I got it cleaning from the inside to the out, right? And then you just want to do that until the bristles don't have any more red ink. And I've actually soaked this in like a glass of water. It all comes apart and you can soak it until your bristles are clean. So there we go. We've got our painter that I'll wash up later. And then this block, and get the ink off. And we're going to let that dry for a second, and we're going to work on the other parts of this card. So let's bring in another wipe. Make sure my surface is clean, my hands. Okay, so let's bring back the burger. We're going to need the burger stamp and our die cut here. And we're going to need this one. We're going to stamp the greeting and stamp the burger. Okay, so we've got Memento ink, and from the stamp set, we're going to grab that stamp that says, "Here's to a great guy." I love that. I think this one is just so fantastic. Here's to a great guy. Okay, so let's get that on a block straight here, and we'll ink that up. Tap, tap, tap on my Memento. The colors of your flag, Inika. Okay, awesome. Yes. So, you can do that. You can make flags. You can do all kinds of different things. Okay, so I'm stamping. Here's to a great guy. There we go. And then I'm going to ink up my burger yet again. And so this class, you're going to have 2 burger cards and a dill pickle card. All the fun stuff. Lay your die cut face down on top of the red rubber and grab another block. Just press it down. Get all that ink on there nice and even. And then there we go. Before it sticks to your block, make sure you got it. Okay, So we're going to color in this one. You can use pencils, you can use blends. I'm going to use blends again just because they're faster. But the watercolor pencils would work, and your ink with your painters as well. So let's do the bun first. So I want to add my pecan pie accents here. You can make this bun as dark as you want, you know, depending on what kind of bun it is. I'm just going to add some pecan pie, and then I'm going to blend it out with the crumb cake. If you want more of a yellow bun, you could use some lemon lolly on there, right? But I'm just going to stick with crumb cake. We're going to blend out with crumb cake. Okay, so I'm going over, when I say blend out, it means I'm going over the color that I've already applied, and I'm just, once the alcohol gets down into the cardstock, it's going to blend it out. Blend it out, make it look like, you know, because buns aren't all one color, right? They usually have different gradations of color throughout them. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to mimic that effect of the bun. Okay, and then for my mustard, or my melted cheese, whatever you want to call it, we're going to put that right there. Maybe we can put cheese on the bottom of this bun. Down here, you could put cheese. And then we're going to grab the, let's see, we've got granny apple green again for our lettuce, crispy lettuce here, or yummy lettuce. Okay, so we're doing that. And this burger has lettuce on the bottom, top and bottom, so that's good. Lots of nutrition in this burger. And then we're going to bring in our poppy parade again. And we're going to do the dark around the edge of our tomatoes, like so. And we'll use the light to blend out those tomatoes. Blend them, do the middle parts of the tomatoes. All right, so there we've got that. Now our pickles, we're going to use, let's use Old Olive. On the pickles. So I want to use my fine tip for the Old Olive here. Go all the way across like that. And our bun, or sorry, our meat, we're going to use pecan pie again. I feel like this is probably the meatiest color that we have. What do you guys think? What would you use for meat? I mean, I guess it depends on how you like your burger, right? If you like your burger, like, some people have their burgers like rare. Oh, I can't imagine, but you know, to each their own. Okay, so now we're going to bring in my silicone mat, and we're going to bring in the parts of the knife. This is my favorite part of this whole card. I've been in places with my son. He's older now, he's an adult, but he still orders those big fancy burgers, and I've seen him presented with you know, these burgers with a steak knife going down through it. And I know I have a picture of him with a crazy little smile on his face when he gets his burger. So for the knife, I'm going to add just a little bit, and tiny, tiny is key, a little bit of glue to the handle of the knife. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom in. So there we've got the little bit of liquid glue. And then we're going to just pick up the handle, and we're going to lay that right on top like that. Okay, so this is going to stay put just like that. So let's leave that off to the side for a second. So there's our you clean your painter with clear shampoo. Sorry, there's something, clean shampoo. Oh, so the water, I clean the water painter clean with hair shampoo. That's a great idea. I never heard of that. Thank you for sharing that, Annika. So now we're going to take the burger, and remember I told you there was like a little opening at the top. We're going to feed that knife down just like the one my son got at the restaurant. We're going to put the knife right in there. That's going to be holding that burger together. And I think the purpose that they do that is so that when you get a big burger, you can take that knife and cut it in half, right? Because it's almost too big to hold it, to eat it. So there's our burger. Now we're going to flip it over. We're going to put this onto the card with dimensionals. So from the back, I'm going to add my dimensionals. So let's see. We're going to put one right over top of the blade, and that the function of that dimensional is going to be to hold down the blade of my knife and also to pop up my burger. So that one's doing double duty. So let's peel off these ones. And then the top of my knife, if you want to secure that down, I recommend bringing in your mini dimensionals, and you can put a couple of those along the shaft of the knife like that and peel that off. And this is going to sit here. I can actually turn it around because that's the beauty of the silicone mat. You can put sticky stuff on it. It'll be ready for you when you're ready for it, right? So for my greeting, I'm going to grab a couple, I think maybe 3 dimensionals is going to be plenty for, actually even 2. I think 2 will be just fine. So 2 dimensionals for the greeting, and then we're going to bring in the parts of this card and put it together. So I like to do things like this. Get the tough stuff done. Not tough, but you know, the things that have to be colored and the fussy things first. Let that sit for a minute. And now my piece is dry. This piece of water painter is dry. Let me just back out a little bit here so you can see. There we go. So this piece is dry now. So now we're ready to put the card together. So we're bringing back our Night of Navy card base and our real red layer. Now, if you wanted this to be darker red, you could go over it again if you wanted to. It's totally up to you. I'm happy with this one. We're going to put this on the left side, and then our designer series paper is going to go on the right side. And you want to leave yourself about a 1/8 of an inch border all the way around, because we're going to put that ribbon in the center. So don't worry about the gap in the center. So let's flip these over. We'll get our liquid glue on our pieces. If I can get my glue to flow. Sometimes it takes a coffee break right in the middle of your class, right? But you have to just be patient. There we go. There we go. Okay, so then on my water painter, and again, the water painter is very forgiving when it comes to glue because it's nice and thick. Okay, see, oh, I just flipped it over on my glass mat. Yikes, now I got glue all over my glass mat. Look at that. Okay, it's okay, we can clean it up. The glass mat is super easy to, you know, to clean up because it resists. I mean, you saw me earlier. I think it was this morning. I was showing that. Oh, no problem, Mackenzie or Kenzie. We'll see you later. Thanks for joining. You can clean just about anything off of this glass mat. It is durable. Woohoo! Sharpie, our embossing paste. Oh, everything that I can think of to put on this mat, it has come off. It's impressive. Okay, so we got the DSP on the right, we got the watercolor paper with our brush strokes on the left, and now we're going to bring in our ribbon. Now your ribbon, you've got a big piece of ribbon. You do want to trim about a 3-inch piece off. We're going to do that for the faux bow, okay? So I'm going to grab my scissors and trim just a little bit off because I want to do a faux bow. Okay, so we're going to flip this over. Bring in some tear and tape, and this is the trick that I learned from my good friend Christine. She taught me, and I think many of you that watch her, how to do this little sandwich trick. So I'm going to put a piece of tear and tape down, peel off the backing, and I'm going to put another piece up here at the top, like that. Peel off the backing. If I can. I shouldn't use my fingernails. I should use my take your pick tool. Okay, peel off the backing. And then we're going to take the long piece of ribbon and we're going to wrap that around. So come down through the center of your card like that. And just when you're happy with it, you just simply wrap it around the back and wrap it around the top and bottom like that. And then the sandwich part of this is to take your tear and tape and add another piece over top. We're making a sandwich, a tear and tape sandwich, if you will. So one over top like that. And then we're ready to put this onto our card front. Peel off this one and that one. And then we're gonna add our liquid glue multi-purpose glue to the other parts. And let's bring in our card base. Fun. She taught you that too, Diane? It's a Christine trick. We love you, Christine. Thank you for sharing that. There's nothing any worse than putting all this effort into making a card, having your ribbon go around a layer, and then it wiggles its way out, and then you can't fix it. How are you supposed to get that back in, right? And to have it secure. So this is a great trick. I love it. Thank you, Christine, for sharing that with us. So we've got that piece on. Now our extra piece here, our, how many inches? We got like a 4-inch piece. We're going to take that, slip it under that ribbon like that. So this is the reason we don't put any glue on the front, right? Because we want to be able to slip that smaller piece of ribbon under, and then we're just going to simply tie a knot. So tie a little knot here, just pull it through. And then you can work it and play with it and make it the way you want it. So if you want it to be like a nice little round knot like that, you can do that. And then when you're happy with it, you can just trim off the ends. So fun. I love the faux bow. I use it all the time when I'm card making. Okay, so let's see. We got one more little snip down here. Make it like that. Okay, so now our burger and our greeting are going to go on here. So we can pick this up off the silicone mat. We're going to put "Here's to a Great Guy" on the left side. And then we're going to put "The burger with the steak knife" on the right side, just like that. Isn't that fun? I love this card. I think this one's my favorite. Okay, we got some embellishments to put on the front here, and then we'll do a little stamping on the inside, and then this class is going to be all over. I can't even believe it. It went so fast. What do you guys think of these cards? Did you learn something new today? Are you excited about watercoloring? What's your favorite? Do you like the pencils? Oh, Krista loves the knife. I do too. It is so fun, isn't it? Right? And the fact that they thought enough to put like an opening at the top of the burger, I mean, that's just genius, right? Okay, so the inside of my card, I did "Time to Celebrate," and I've got ribbon sticking to my fingers. So I've got "Time to Celebrate," and we're going to bring in my memento. Tap, tap, tap. We're going to stamp that right in the center of this inside piece. And then I stamped the pickle. Let's bring back that pickle. You want to go make your cards now, Krista? You're excited? Good. I'm so happy. That's what makes my day, hearing you say that. Thank you so much. Okay, so the pickle, can't leave it like that. Nothing worse than a pale pickle. Oh gosh. Let's bring in my Old Olive blends and quickly add some green to this pickle. Okay, so then this is going to go on the inside of my cards. Just add a little tiny bit of glue. And we got a burger pickle card to a great guy. Totally love your designs as usual. You always do the bun. Thank you so much, Krista. I appreciate that. I love to take a bundle and do as much as I can with it, because that's where the value is, right? When you can get a bundle and you can make lots of things with it, it adds value to the products, right? So let's bring them all back in. First, we did our pickle card. You're kind of the big dill. You're kind of a big dill. And then we did our Happy Father's Day, or you can substitute this up here, right? You could say "Time to Celebrate." You could put any kind of greetings, anything you have at home. It doesn't have to be Father's Day, but it's June, so I wanted to feature masculine. Sometimes masculine is challenging, right? So there we go. We've got pickles and burgers and all the fun things. Thank you, Gail. I'm so happy you like these ones. I had a blast designing these and making them and doing the kits and sending them to you. And I know Christine did too. Let me just flip you back around here. Whoops. Can I? There we go. All right. Thank you again, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the class. Don't forget, Christine does have kits left. I do too. If you've enjoyed the class and you want to do these, you can reach out to me if you live here in Canada, or reach out to Christine Bertram over at Cards by Christine, or you can leave her a message here. You can find her anywhere, YouTube, Facebook. But really, you should go to her blog. If you go to her website at Cards by Christine, you'll find all of her information there as well. And you're gonna love doing this class with us. So don't forget tonight at 5 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Central. Christine's going to be live on her YouTube channel. She's going to be teaching the Take to the Sky cards, and I can't wait. I'll be there. I'll be there in the audience, like you guys watching and celebrating Christine and her amazing creativity. I thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you like these cards using Bistro Burger, and I hope I've inspired you to grab your own Bistro Burger bundle and enjoy making burger cards forever, right? I've never seen a burger stamp and die set, so this is a new one for me. And it might be a new one for Stampin' Up, but I've been with them 22 years, so hopefully. Oh, Diane says this is Christine. Christine is masquerading as Diane today. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll see you guys later on Christine's class tonight. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon, and we'll chat soon. Bye-bye.